Hmm.
So here we go. This is Tribal Future Podcast today with Ethel. If you don't know me, my name is Adriatica. I am multidisciplinary artist is what they call it. I do paintings on canvas. I paint the body. I'm a tattoo artist. I'm a makeup artist, and I'm also a dancer. I've especially fallen in love with something that we all used to know as Tribal Fusion Belly or we all know as Tribal Fusion Belly. There have been a few changes. I came back to um, teaching this year, and this is part of my research that I'm sharing with all of you. Now, my guest today is Ethel. She's from Poland. She is a self-described. We just talked about that. She's a dark tribal fusion belly dancer. She also is a costume and jewelry maker. She makes this by hand. And she organizes, so she's the organizer of Tribal Festival and Luna Tribal Fest, which are both situated in Krakow in Poland. Welcome, Itzel. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, I would love to say thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast. I'm really excited about that. To be honest, this is not my first interview, but each time I can share something really interesting, and I think this is really important to discuss in general art and some, like some maybe sometimes controversial things, but at the same time, yeah, I think we need to discuss that. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, so about me, I even don't know what to tell you. I am a tribal fusion belly dancer for more than 15 years. I think already 16 years. Yes,
Mhm.
so I started a long year ago. And I have my own school, Anima Tribal Dance School, and also I have my online platform. So yeah, basically this is what I'm doing. I'm only artist. I also, as you told already, I also making costumes and jewelry, and I'm organizing events, festival, and projects, international projects. So yes, this is about me.
That's great. No, you said something that everyone who comes on here, they say it. They say that they thank me for doing it. While I feel like really blessed to talking to so many artists that I also admire. I've seen you performing live in Berlin at Tribal Fest that Laila organized. Yeah, and I think you
Yes,
did.
yes, Moon Tribal Festival. Yeah, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, exactly. And you stood out for me because you did something with the Säbel. How do you say Säbel dance with the, it's not a knife. How do you call
Saber,
it?
yeah, yeah.
Yes. And I thought it was really, really good. So do you like, where do you come from artistically? Like inside of belly dance, we know that there are many different categories. Some people dance with snakes, with sables, with candelabros. Like what is your fusion?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. So, of course, like my love in general in tribal fusion, this is dark styles. And I think even if I'm when I'm trying to dance something more neutral, anyway, it's more dark than usual, let's say tribal fusion. So I'm also using some props. So it depends. Sometimes I dance with fan veils. I can use feather fans. And to be honest, it was my second performance with saber. So originally I created it for Gala Show Tribal Festival in Krakow, and we had topic tarot this year, and yeah, that's why I decided to make it was Queen of Swords. So yeah, and then I decided this is a good option to bring this performance to Berlin. So yeah.
But
So yeah, my big inspiration, this is more dark and gothic subcultures. So that's why, like I connected to that. So yeah.
yes, we will go into that later because I saw a lot of things that I find very interesting. How you work with the dark, there is an archetype for that, the dark feminine, some people call it. But where did you learn? Where did you learn the dances that you do, like sable dance, for example?
I'm sorry, something with the internet connection. So one
Oh,
second, let me check.
I can hear you clearly. Can
Okay, I
you?
think now it's fine.
Okay. So I
Okay.
ask
Yes,
where.
now all is good.
Okay, good. I just asked where you learned it. What was sort of your training that made you come to what you do now?
Yeah, okay. So I danced in my childhood, but it was more about some ballroom dances and more how to say, a little bit folkloric dance. So it was not so serious, of course. But then I decided that, okay, not I decided, my friend, she, she told me like, oh, one time she came to me and like, okay, tell, so I think I have something that you will like. And she showed me Rachel Bryce video. And of course, I was amazed, like, oh my God, oh my God, it's something that I would love to, like to learn. Because of course, I was so amazed by her dance, by her performance, how she moves. So it's like, it was something unreal. And it was,
Mhm.
like this video in a dark room with some candles. So some, like dark and gothic vibes.
Yeah.
But then I discovered Ariella. So it was like,
Oh.
what? How it's possible? So yeah, like 1 year ago, I finally was able to invite her to my festival. So, like how like dream came true. So it was, like she's my big inspiration.
Mhm.
Um, so then I went to Bellydance, like classical Bellydance classes, because we have no tribal fusion at all. Because originally I'm from Belarus, I'm not from Poland. I moved to Poland almost 5 years ago. So yeah, in Belarus we had no tribal fusion classes. So I started to learn belly dance, but I felt like okay, it's something really similar, but it's not the same because like atmosphere is absolutely different, and in general, let's say meaning absolutely different. So, of course, I enjoyed with, like in general with some movements because it's similar. In general, it's similar, but again, like it's not the same. So, I spent about 3 months to learn it, and then I decided like, okay, so it's not what I want. But then two tribal fusion groups opened in Minsk and Belarus, and I decided to attend one of them. So, but it was, of course, it was not dark tribal fusion. And then I think I understood, like it was the first insight when our teacher, she told us, okay, so it's time to perform solo. And she asked us, okay, so you should choose the song that you would like to perform your solo with. And I showed her my solo, and she was like, what? Ethel, it's not possible to dance with this song. It's not dancing at all. But like I really love this song. I really love this band, and it was my and still it's my favorite, one of my favorite bands. And like,
What's the music?
okay, it was, I don't know if you know this, but I think yes because they are German. So it's Umbre et Imago. Do you know this band?
No, what style is it?
Oh,
Like, can
it's
you?
like dark wave, gothic,
Mm-hmm.
Umbre
No,
et
no, I
Imago. Yes,
don't.
it's like it's alternative, but yeah, it's like more gothic. So yeah. But like I decided like okay, I love this song. And of course we danced by different songs, and it was not only tribal fusion music, let's say, because I remember she did one time she made performance by Christina Aguilera. And it was, I mean, for me, it felt so bad. I mean, I have
Oh, you're frozen.
nothing bad about Christina Aguilera. So when I decided to, I mean, I did this solo, and I still love it. So I think in this moment I understood that, of course, maybe not all the people love my choice, but at the same time, I want to follow my ideas and my understanding of the art. So yeah, I
Mhm.
think in this moment, and it was, I think, 2010, something like that. So I think it was the first understanding who I am, like a dancer, and then I just followed mm, this idea. Yeah. So, but of course, I had a lot of falls and ups, as always, as all artists, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think this is it was the first time.
Yeah, no, it's important as an artist to stand for, what you believe in and what you feel, especially with music. Some people feel Christina Aguilera when they dances. I'm not one of them as well, but if you feel it, do it. And if you feel something else, then you have to do that. And it's very strong, your whole visual identity. It's also very rooted in dark. But before we go into this, the dark and the anima and all of this, because I'm really interested also from a psychological perspective. But what you still use the word tribal. Could you tell us, like, why did you decide to continue to use this name?
Hmm. Yeah, it's and this is one of the most controversial topics now, I think, in our community.
Yes.
So when I started to learn this style of dance, of course, it was tribal fusion. Yes, tribal fusion or tribal fusion belly dance. And when all the discussion started about is it appropriation or not, of course, at one point, let's say, I agree with some of the aspects of that. But at the same time, because we discussed that, and like I taught in Morocco, and like we discussed with other teachers
Mm.
this topic, and of course, not only with this, previously I also discussed with other dancers and other teachers. And you know what? Why I'm still using it? Because if we not use this word tribal, we are losing our identity. Because fusion belly dance, this is not the same, you know? And even if only belly dance, and of course, again, like when all the discussion started, now we have a lot of names. At the same
Yeah.
time, each dancer has own style, let's say. Yes. So for now, I can and method. So I call my method Anima Fusion. Yes, and but at the same time, if all the dancers, if each dancer will call the dance and the method in other way, again, we have no connection. We just lose it. So this is the problem, I think. If we will not use tribal, but if you hear like, okay, I'm dancing tribal fusion belly dance, okay, you see like, okay, she's mine, you know.
Mhm.
So if you use just fusion belly dance, there are a lot of different styles that
Mhm.
can be performed by this name. So yeah, I think this is the most, this is why I'm still using it. But again, at the same time, when I was talking with locals in Morocco, because of course I was interested in, like, know their vision of
Mhm.
that, and we discussed like the name tribal and using this word, and also we talked about some how to say, something that related only for tribes, for example, like some painting on faces, some jewelry and everything. And like I was, to be honest, I was surprised because they told me like, no, it's fine. Why not? This is, of course, this is our culture, but at the same time, we are really proud if dancers use it. And but of course, it's about mm, respecting this thing that we use. So these dancers should know why they use this, what the meaning of that. So
Mhm.
I think you understand what I mean. So of course, if you just take something and you don't know why, you don't know um, what that means, it's like, okay, it's not really good, to be honest. But at the same time, if you know the meaning, if you know how it was created, why it was created, why not? So, of course, we have a lot of different opinions about that. But at the same time, it's not possible to, mm, okay, let's say, to be good for everyone. So, and this is choice. And at the same time, for my festival, like tribal festival, because like I received sometimes I receive some messages like, okay, so you use, so it's like a preparation, so you use tribal festival, but the idea that I I didn't create this festival. It was created by one of my friends. Unfortunately, he is not with us already, but I just continue this festival. I continue to organize it. And like previously, it was organized in Belarus, in Minsk. Then, when I moved to Poland, I decided to organize it here. But several years I organized in Minsk by myself. So for me, it feels like, okay, it's not possible for me to change this name because this is about history of this festival, you know?
Yeah.
So this
No,
is one of the reasons also.
okay. Yeah, thank you for your answer. No, you will, if you will go through the podcasts, whether you, Ethel, or you who are watching this, you will see that there are very different answers. But what you said, some people said before, that also some teachers, they say when they have schools and they offered tribal fusion and now they had to call it a different name. So they are also um, they're losing students, and some people also suffer from that, what you say, losing their identity as an artist inside of that name, tribal fusion, because of changing the name. And then fusion belly dance could be a fusion with, I started now to work in a dance school where the owner, she does also salsa and like Latin dances, and she was like, oh, I want to do like a Latin fusion belly dance. I was like, okay, it's you then call it Latin fusion belly dance. And I just do fusion belly dance, but what am I fusing with? But anyways, I this is not about telling you're wrong, you're right. This is about opening the discussion on how can we still connect with each other, even though people are calling it different things. And
Hmm.
maybe how can we come up with a new name or another name or an umbrella term, or just, by talking about these things, I think it really helps.
Yeah.
Because and those people you talk to in Morocco, were they from a tribe, or did they identify with being from a tribe like the Amazics or Berbers, or were they?
Okay, with Amazix, it's also really interesting thing because okay, I talk one of girl, she's living in Morocco. She is living in, oh my God, I forgot the capital of Morocco.
I also forgot. Is it Casablanca? I'm not sure if
No, no,
Casablanca is
no,
the capital. Let
no,
me.
it's not. It was not Casablanca.
I was
Oh, I
there,
forgot.
but I
But
forgot.
anyway, it doesn't matter to be honest. So she lives in the big city,
Rabat.
and the idea. Huh?
Rabat. Rabat is the capital of Morocco.
Ah, okay, no, so it's not, it was not capital. Okay, doesn't matter. So the idea that she lives now in big city, and one of the most touristic city in Morocco. And at the same time, her grandmother, she is from tribe.
Hmm.
And when I ask her, because now, sometimes I also, received really angry comments because, for example, when I created my Dune project, and I was inspired by like by tribes and by Tuaregs. So, like this is a lot of things in once. But I received some comment that okay, so it's not possible, and also about Berber word, yes.
Yeah,
So and I
Amazic.
received like okay, so
But
but this is not Amazigh.
they call themselves Berber sometimes, and it's sort of it's it's
I know.
complicated.
That's why
Yeah.
I also asked about that. And she told me, no, it's fine. For me, it's fine. Because if you, for example, call some tribes Amazics, they will be really angry because they are not Amazics, they Tamazics, for example, because different tribes has different names. So this is the problem also. But at the
I thought
same
that
time, she told me like,
Amazic.
if you call us Berbers, it's fine. So I mean, we have a lot of different opinions from different people, and this is, I think, really interesting.
Well, it says here, Berbers, also known as Amazics or Imazigen, are an ethnic group indigenous to North Africa. From what I know, Tamazic is the name of their how they write. But Amazics and Berbers,
That's what she told me, and
mm,
she is really, like connected with her grandmother. And this is like, the information from the source. So I believe her. Because, like in internet, you have a lot of different things, and sometimes they're not.
accurate. Yeah, but yeah, and then
Yeah,
there's the work of anthropology and research and all of that. But the truth is that most of these Berber women or Amazighum, I've been to Morocco too. If you go there, you will see a lot of old. Most people who wear these tattoos
yeah,
here, around here, or
yeah,
around
yeah,
here,
yeah,
they're very, very old women. So it's kind of a
yeah.
dying. It's dying out. There are some tattoo artists that are from Morocco that are doing the signs on people like contemporary
Yeah, yeah, I know.
body art basically. But when I was there, I remember that one Moroccan guy, he asked me to do a tattoo on him that had this symbol, and
Hmm.
I had to deny because I I don't want to tattoo anything that I don't really know what it means on some, even if he knows
Of
what it
course.
means, but I don't think it's my place. But yeah, the thing with the tattoos and with the Amazics and with the Berber, like talking to them, but the fact is, like, unfortunately this happens in a lot of countries, also in Brazil where I come from. It's starting now, this wave of educating yourself about your own culture and also being in love about your own culture while you live in the country of origin, is that a lot of people, they don't actually know, even if their grandfather or grandmother, sometimes they do not know or appreciate. And the work of like digging in and asking your grandmother, your grandfather, and then this is an ongoing thing. Yeah. But so they told you that they wouldn't mind you using what?
Berber
Yeah.
word.
Berber. Yeah, they
Yeah.
usually say, when I was in Morocco, they would say I'm Berber. They say this about themselves.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, again, like this is about we have no only one answer because like people are different. So that's why, yeah, it's really controversial, but at the same time, you can educate yourself with talking with locals, with like knowing their vision about that, and then you can decide for yourself.
Yeah. So let's move on to your offerings. Like what you offer, and also to your aesthetics. Your aesthetics are really, really dark. Like sometimes there is blood on it. Why do you choose to present yourself like that? And where do you draw inspiration from? I know that, is that Gothic, or what is that?
Okay, so thank you for question. I think this is one of my favorite questions during interviews. Mm, so, first of all, why for me dark fusion is like my place. Um, in general, all of us we have, let's say, light side and dark side,
Mhm.
and I can live my light version, let's say, with my family, for example, yes. And I really love nature, for example, and I really connected with nature. And for me, this is more about light side of myself. And of course, for example, when I'm with my daughter, we are playing, we are discussing some scenes and every scene. But at the same time, for me, it's really, really important not to hide my dark side because I can't say that I'm really angry person, for example. No, at the same time, we live our lives. And of course, we have this kind of emotions, let's say negative, but this is not, I think this is not correct word, but at the same time, let's say negative words. And I need to find how to process them.
Mhm.
And that's why for me, dark tribal fusion is the best way. And like I know that I can live these emotions and process them in more natural and ecological way. So this is one of the reason. At the same time, I really related to dark aesthetics because in my teenage time I was like I was really interested in gothic subculture, but okay, for now nothing changed about that. So yeah, and this is my inspiration. So at the same time, I remember that even from, okay, maybe let's say from childhood, because my father, he's also like alternative. And of course, this is not the same like we have now. We have a lot of subcultures, but at the same time, he was listening some rock bands, and of course, I was listening them too when I was a child. So I think this experience has some influence in my, like adult life, let's say, and my vision of this world in general. So, yeah, and I remember like one of my biggest inspiration from teenage, it was arts from Louis Royo. And now from Louis Royo and from his son Romulo Royo. So I really love their art and paintings. I think you know them. They're
No, I
really
don't know
famous.
them, but it's funny
So
that you just
no,
answered a
you
question
don't
that
know?
I was going to ask.
Okay, okay.
Rómulo Roya? Rom
Royo. Mm-hmm.
Royo. Ah, yes, I see. Yeah. It is quite some of them are quite, I'm seeing this one.
Yeah. But
They
this one I think from already from his son Romulo Arroyo, and now really I think they really inspired about tribal fusion dancers because okay, when I was a teenager, they he has mostly really dark and sensual and maybe a little bit even sexual arts. But of course, almost all of them were really dark, with some angels and demons. So I was, like I was so inspired by them. Like, okay, it's something unreal. So, and even now I have really big influence from this time, and I have a lot of books from with the paintings. I have them and I'm really inspired by them. And sometimes when I like want to create some new characters, sometimes I just like look for some inspiration in these paintings.
Yes. No, they are quite beautiful and very similar to tribal fusion aesthetics. It's funny, I didn't know him.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for that. But the word anima is the word I was thinking, is anima, is that from Jungian psychology? Anima and animus. Is that Jung who uses it? It was young, right?
Yes. I remember, I will tell you, like, I will try to tell a short story because I remember when I created my group, I started to teach, but at the same time, I didn't know how to name it. And then, like, it's a long way when you start to think, okay, how to name that. And then this word just came to me. And of course, I decided, okay, so I need to know the meaning of that. And of course, I discovered the big world about these meanings and everything. So yeah, it was about first of all, it was about meaning. So this is like soul, and this is essence. So yeah,
Yeah, there is also something called animism, which is something that a lot of indigenous cultures practice, which is the belief that everything, also objects, have a soul. Like not only things, like trees or natures, but also this pencil,
yeah,
for example, which yeah, I think there is something to it. So you have like this program, Shadow of Soul, and you talk about witchcraft. And so I wanna ask you about that. Like, what's your, because in this region of the world, I don't know if we will have to do part two because we have like 5 minutes. But let's see. If we don't get there, we do another part. Um, about witchcraft, which is something that I studied, but from another perspective, because in Brazil and everywhere. Uh, Women that were called witches. I think all in the world were women that were usually wise. But then we have this differentiation if you work, towards like if you're a channel for the light or the channel for the dark, not only in the sense of colors, but also to what you do. So what is your interpretation of witchcraft? Your image reminds me a lot of Hecate, if I can call upon any goddess, yeah, will be her.
yeah. So okay, with Hecate in general, it's really interesting story. I think she just found me in some moment. But
Mhm.
it was not so far ago because it was like previous year. But in general, I was always really connected to nature and to some, I don't know if it's like correct word, but to magic, let's say.
Yeah,
Because even in childhood, I had some visions, and like I felt that this is not only one. So yeah, so from childhood, I was different. I was different from other childs, for example. So yeah, and now I think it's just about some rituals, let's say, some again like magic, but we can find magic if we want that. So it's about creating space for that. So
when
for me, it's
yeah,
not about, like dark sides, the side, dark side or light side, because it depends on your vision. But at the same time, I don't do some curses, for example. I don't need that. So
that's
it's
good.
mostly, yeah, it's not, don't worry. No, yeah, for me, it's mostly about finding myself in this world, and again, like connection with this universe. So this
Okay.
is.
So for you, it's more philosophy of life than, mm, because there are different ways of magic. I'm trying to find out.
Of
But when you
course.
write it, I think I saw it on your, you write it Magic without the K.
Sometimes it depends. It
Sometimes you write
depends.
it with the K.
Yeah, but at the same time, so I really love the idea of natural cycle, about solstice, for example. So I feel that. And about moon cycles. And for example, in my Anima Sanctuarium online space, I also share some of my vision, some tips for girls because they're really interested about that, how to connect with the moon cycles, what you can do, how you can help yourself with, like with living these cycles inside. So, I mean, with new moon, with full
Hmm.
moon, because, yeah, I mean, we can name this in different ways, but for me, it's just about bringing some magic to our lives, to our routine, and again, like finding some space for yourself in this world. Because
Yeah.
we have a lot of roles, like we can be wife, we can be mother, we can be teacher, we can be artist, and we have a lot of different roles. So this is just part, for me, it's just part of me that helps me to stay connected with myself.
Okay. That is a good explanation. With tuning in with the cycles, I think have always been a big thing of in the history of magic is one of the basic things, tuning in with the cycles. So we are planet Earth, but there are other planets, like solstice and equinoxes is something that I also celebrate
Of
more
course.
than like Christmas or something else, and then full moons and new moons. I've been more into that, not so much anymore. But our time, we got like 1 minute left. I want to thank you so much for opening up a little bit of your world. If you wanna see her, I'm gonna put the name, everything under it. And thank you so much, Ethel. This was great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I was enjoyed.
You were into it?
Yes, I enjoyed a lot.
Ah, cool. What did I press? Stop?